Show me that smile again. Don't waste another minute of your crying. We're nowhere near the end. The best is ready to begin. As long as we got each other. We got the world spinning right in our hands, baby, you and me. We gotta be the luckiest dreamers who never quit dreaming. Welcome to the Invisible Wires podcast. This is CSQUARE coming at you. We're in the bunker. We're hunkered down. We're ready to go. The mics are hot. Yep. The men are... I was going to say not, but that's rude. I shouldn't say that about you guys.
What?
That you're not hot.
Hey, I really don't care.
You don't really care about my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm just trying not to be rude.
Well.
So here we are on a Sunday evening, the Sabbath. So what's been how's your guys' weekend been? Have you met any strangers?
No. Well, no. I was at the Elks last night, and everybody I met there I was already familiar with.
Nice.
So no.
Nice.
You can't tell us much about that, can you?
I could, but I'd have to kill you.
Okay, good. We don't want you to get kicked out of the Elks Club. I mean, I know it's really hard to get in.
No, it's like I just can't talk about the initiation, but I can generalize other stuff. But
well,
anyway.
my dad's an elk, and he heard the podcast, and I don't think he broke any rules because he would have told me.
Yeah.
But there is another club that Shaman and I would like to induct you into.
Oh yeah.
And it's the Sauna Club at the YMCA.
Yeah.
And we would love for you to come and sit in a hot, dry room with us. Partially clothed or naked. It's your choice.
If you're a real man, you go naked.
If you're a real man, you go naked. You just keep your gaze where it's supposed to be. It takes a lot of control, a lot of optical acuity.
You have to be able to see small objects.
You have to, yeah. You have to squint in some cases. But there is an initiation process, and it's only the first time you come, and it's called the chode slap, and and there's this elderly man. It's not me. It's not Shaman. Mm-hmm. You have to be a 47th degree sauna to be able to do the chode slap. This old man, named Melvin, he comes up to you and you have to bear it, and he just slaps you right in the chode, like really hard. Then after that, you're golden.
Does he have osteoporosis because he might break his hand?
Yeah, he might. You have a really hard chode. Is that what you're saying?
No. Iron balls spaghetti.
I've been working that part out. You know what I mean? Doing some deep squats.
You should put a boxing glove on him first, or something.
If you for COVID, there are COVID restrictions on. You have to wear a glove now for the chode slap. So, they've just been sanctioned. It's a clean glove, I think. So, well.
Is this going to be one of those obscure sports that shows up at 3 a.m. on one of the extra ESPN
This is the
channels?
third annual tri-state area chode slapping competition.
Ding, ding.
We got Chester Morgan. He's our championship chode slapper. He's
going against Jimmy Simpkins.
He slapped more chodes than Diana Ross. I don't know.
Don't even know if that applies, but it rolled off the tongue.
I don't know what that means. Oh gosh. Yesterday I broke down and bought a robot for my pool. And it's this little robot that goes around and cleans the pool. And it asks me, it has an app for it. So it's a Roomba for your pool, basically. That's what it is. And, first world problems. You got to clean your pool. And in the app, it asks you what you want to name your It's called a dolphin, is what it's called. And when you want to name your dolphin, and I named mine Jimmy Simpkins. That's what I. So when I press, you can talk to Siri and say, "Stop cleaning my pool," and then it'll say, "Jimmy Simpkins has stopped cleaning your pool." So it's been me and Jimmy been cleaning the pool, and I don't know. I feel it's kind of a frivolous thing to buy.
So you're saying you have met somebody new in the last
yes,
few
I
days.
have. I've named somebody Jimmy Simpkins, and it's happened. I think we need to get Jimmy Simpkins T-shirts or name tags or something.
Does Jimmy do deep cleaning?
Yes, he goes all the way to the bottom.
Is he thorough?
He's very thorough. 2.5 hours of work is what he does.
Nice.
So that's my big event.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
Did you order from Amazon?
No, I did not order it from Amazon.
Ooh, okay.
He's
Because
not
I
had
care
time.
about those workers.
He's not had the time yet.
I went down and bought it from a person.
It's pre-owned.
No, I didn't buy a pre-owned one.
You see, you bought it from a person
Well, I mean, it was a store. Person who owned a store.
locally.
Yes, and I got a free water testing kit with it.
You want to plug them?
The pool?
Yeah.
The store.
The store. It's a small store. I could handle that, probably. I don't know. Shout out to Paradise Pools. We'd love for you to be a sponsor one day. It'd be great. If you ever listen to this, I think it's Dana and Chris own it. Atkins.
Okay.
Which is strange because Dana's my dad's name. And my name's Chris. It's weird. Huh? Strange. Or C-Square. Anyway. So that's
gosh.
my frivolous purchase this week.
So, any new media experiences to speak of? Like you had a new song in between your ears there earlier, and
I've
caught any movies or?
I'd like everybody to go watch Loki.
Okay.
I think it's really a good show on Disney Plus. It is more than an Avengers show type of show. It has got a lot of it's very deep, very poignant about reality. It talks about the nature of reality, and I don't know, it's real smart. It's got Owen Wilson in it. It's really good. I thought that was pretty good. There is a zombie show on Netflix called Black Summer, and it's
You
about
mentioned that.
zombies. And
Fatherhood's on there too.
yes,
Really
it is.
good movie.
You watched it?
Yes. Like, super surprised.
You were super surprised it was good?
I was super surprised that Kevin Hart can find another. There's more to him than what I thought there was.
Like it was actually dramatic acting that was good. He has another movie with Bryan Cranston, where Bryan Cranston's in a wheelchair or something like that. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was really good too. And he was kind of his helper or something like that. So all those movies are great. Fatherhood, I didn't expect that to be good. Sometimes I think Kevin Hart's kind of cheesy.
Have you seen Fatherhood yet?
No, I'll watch it.
Yeah. It's definitely a movie that it's probably outside his comfort zone, possibly, but I think he killed it in there, in that character that he played. There is some comedy to it. It's definitely not a comedy.
It's about being a father and
Yeah.
what that entails.
Yeah. Being a single father. Yeah.
Fathers get a bad rap in this day and time. Now, it makes me wonder if fathers are generally not that great. Or if maybe we talk about how bad fathers are.
You know what? Father's Day is ranked in holidays. Mother's Day, it's Christmas and then Mother's Day. You know what Father's Day is ranked?
15th or something?
No, I'm just asking.
Oh.
I'm joking. No.
I was like, do you know this?
No, I do. It's roughly know this. I believe it's 17.
That was close.
17.
So it's ranked like as popular? Or
Yeah, among
reserves?
all the other holidays. I can't even name like 17 other holiday, like, okay, there's July 4th, St.
Right.
Patty's Day,
Right.
Valentine's Day,
Right.
Yeah, there's
Halloween,
Halloween, and Thanksgiving.
Arbor Day.
Thanksgiving's
Arbor's
definitely-
Day.
Okay, what is Arbor?
About trees.
But what about them?
Plant a tree.
Okay,
Appreciate trees.
so that's about.
We have
fathers,
a day that celebrates trees.
and that's ahead of fathers.
That's ahead of fathers or trees are more popular than fathers at this point.
So do you think fathers need to step it up, or do you think we just need to appreciate them more?
You reckon it's because it can't be commercialized as much as the other ones too? Might be why it's not as popular.
Father's Day.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, but it's all stuff you get at a home improvement store.
Yeah, Father's Day's.
But I mean, you know, like St. Patty's Day, it's party on, you know, it's,
Well, St. Patty's Day is probably because of drinking.
yeah, but it's not, you know, it's like Labor Day. They don't really commercialize that either. You know, it's like,
And you get off that day though.
yeah, but I'm just saying it's not as, like, there's not a celebrant factor to it.
You don't really celebrate on Father's Day.
Mm-mm.
I did bad at Father's Day this year. I'll admit, sorry, Dad.
Yeah, how come, man?
Well, he just lives in Florida, so
You didn't call him.
I called him. We talked.
You didn't send him anything.
Not really. I'll admit to the whole world.
Do you know your dad well enough to what kind of gift he would have appreciated? Or is he kind of the guy that's just simple and just you calling him was more than enough?
I mean, he has everything, but really wants nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Like,
maybe just the call was more than what.
yeah, I think the
was exactly what
call
it
was enough. I mean, I felt like the call was good. It was,
Yeah.
you know,
Definitely better than not.
yeah, better not
Right.
call him.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah, I would say, like, also having a better relationship with my dad than I've had, and like ever, it definitely helps too.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
Man. I love hearing that.
But
What
I
about you,
think,
bro?
yeah, go ahead, yeah.
How was your Father's Day?
You hang out with your dad, didn't you? A little bit.
Nah, we talk and stuff. We both been pretty,
You talk to your dad a lot.
yeah, which seems like at least every other day or so.
Yeah. It seems like fathers get, I don't know, the media talks bad about fathers a lot.
Really?
I think they do.
In what way?
I don't know. Like, fathers are like, you don't hear about, like, I know mothers leave families a lot, but I would say fathers probably leave families more. I don't know. But I think dads definitely get a bad rap. I don't know. There's like a
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
I know a lot of good dads, so I don't get it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a dad, so I don't really get it, you know.
Well, you know.
Sandman's a dad. He gets it.
Yeah.
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 You're a puppy dad too. You got
I mean, yeah, it's a dog. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's a dog. I mean, it's a little different. A human,
Little.
I mean, a human is a different thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
they grow up and you shape
Talk
them.
back.
They learn things and they talk back, and then they could eventually beat you up. You know what I mean? It's always a thing, I think.
And
I don't know. It's interesting that Father's Day is not as popular. Mothers get all the, you know, of course they should. I mean, women have to be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Women have, you know, they're expected to do all the housework.
What
So-
era do you live in?
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying they
Wouldn't
still,
say expected, but yeah.
they,
there's-
well, they kind of have that in them. The
Ladies, for
caretaker.
those of
Oh,
you
yes.
wondering. Chris,
No, they're not by me, but
CSQUARE.
they like have that ingrained in their
Oh God, he's
as
digging.
a gender
He's-
norm.
he's- oh God,
Not
he's
well.
digging even deeper.
just scientifically, I'll refer to it association, but they multitask.
Not everything said on this
General,
podcast,
way better than
I
guys do.
support. So just want to make that clear. Okay,
Yeah.
this is the shaman.
the ideas expressed in this
The
podcast.
views on this podcast is not considered by all other
Each
members
individual
of the
person
podcast.
is responsible for what they say.
Yes.
But women do multitask. You're right, and they also are. They do more. Guys are real focused on one thing.
Pussy.
That's right. That's it. We have one thing on our mind.
Women's got all kinds of other things.
They're thinking about the dishes. Thinking about.
We're going down. Square, help us pull it up, bro.
But women also work now, and they didn't do that before. So they work, take care of the house. I'm saying women do more.
You think they should?
No, I don't think they should. That's them. That's their fault.
Oh, now it's their fault.
You are not helping yourself here, man.
I'm saying.
Well, how about them Reds?
As I said earlier,
I'm
not
saying
all views on this podcast. Go ahead.
I think most
Take two.
Most women do a lot of things. Like they work, they take care of the house, they do that kind of, like guys are like we're kind of dumb and we think about one thing at once. Like we're like sports or just work. We can just think about work.
Yeah.
We're kind of myopic.
Yeah. I think so.
Women, yeah, I think we are. I mean, I know I am. Like, it's hard. I have to make a list of stuff to do around the house to even remember to do it.
Or you just buy a robot.
Or I just buy a robot to do it. The point is to make enough money, you can buy a robot to do stuff for you. If I could buy a robot to trim the hedges, I would do it. I did it today. I did the hedges to.
I can tell when I pulled in.
I know, and
what happened to him.
I know. My wife came out and was like, she's like, yeah, she was not happy. She goes, they're not supposed to be square. I thought they looked great square.
Yeah.
Evidently, that's not in. I should have just looked across the road and seen the neighbor's bushes and just copied.
Yeah,
That's what I should have done. Yeah. But no, I had to be all symmetrical with it. That was just stupid.
Oh, man.
It's like, you know what I got an appreciation for when I was doing the hedges? Because I haven't really done hedges really in my life, I don't think.
Hedges have a way of having that happen.
I got really, I was like, man, people who give haircuts are just, like, barbers are amazing.
Yeah.
Like, how do they...
Did someone do your hair? Is that where you got the inspiration?
Yeah. The hedges is how I got it done.
He's trying to fit a 2-guard on his head trimmer.
So I did my hair with the hedge trimmers.
You were talking about women again and their work and
listen, last podcast we talked about how women have been oppressed, and that's why there's women in men's sports. Yes. And that's why.
Well, that's probably one.
If men and women were equal, don't you think there would be co-ed sports?
Like physically equal?
No, if you're saying that the reason that they're men's women's sports because it's the physical difference.
Predominantly.
Well, they weren't
given... But if there are some sports that definitely could, like soccer, tennis, golf.
So you're saying head-to-head physical contact?
Yeah, I wouldn't
there are some
say
sports where it's a level playing field, like say
MMA or anything.
Playing 8-ball or something like that. Pool or bowling or something like that.
You want to consider that a sport? Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
it's a sport, but
NASCAR.
It's not like athletic, so to speak, but it's
Danica Patrick. Yeah,
yeah. She.
Okay.
It was a big deal when she entered that. If you really think about it, that's huge. Like she's in a dominant male sport,
right?
But I think that's just one example of where I think women should be more infiltrated in, where it doesn't take a necessarily physical strength.
What if you had? Okay, what if there wasn't the suffrage? We didn't need the suffrage movement. We didn't need. Let's say women were always considered equal, and they weren't. I mean, women were owned basically for a long time. So what if it was always equal? What if I think there would be. It wouldn't be. I don't think there'd be different men and women's sports. I think they would just be whoever was good, and whoever's on the team.
Yeah,
was on the
don't get
team.
me wrong. If there's a woman who can play in the NFL, and she can let her do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some athletic.
But then the question
women out
would
there.
be, say, if a male wanted to go into, I don't know, professional softball. You know.
Well, then, yeah, there probably wouldn't be softball.
What is it?
I mean, would there be softball if there wasn't men and women's sports? Would softball exist?
Yeah.
I don't know the origins of softball, so I don't know if it only became about because women wanted to play baseball. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know why.
I mean, you probably should have done your homework a little bit before we start talking about this.
Well, we're just pontificating on.
No, but for real, I think, you're right. Ultimately, if any person can physically handle whatever challenges that particular sport may bring, then so be it. And if that's the case, then there probably wouldn't be a, male and female sports. Maybe it would be just all one.
If they were given the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be different.
I think it'd be interesting to watch some NBA. Like, I would like to see a couple WNBA players play along with some NBA players and see what they can do in a season. You know,
I think
that'd be
you'll see
neat.
females in the NFL as a place kicker eventually. I mean, you're starting to see them in D1 now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Football.
I think that. I mean, I think it's all about ability. Like if you're good enough,
yeah,
who cares?
right.
Now, I mean, to be a linebacker, women usually don't have that. I mean, they usually don't have that much strength unless they train since they're a little kid and they just maybe, a lot of women don't. I mean, the truth is women don't play football from a young
they're
kid.
smarter than us.
Probably. It's
True
not,
that.
it's not like it's a rough sport. I mean, but think about it, we've thrown women into cheerleading. Not the cheerleading's not a sport, but I'm saying like, hey guys, dance around and do flips and when cheer us on. Like what a
You're stay on the sidelines.
misogynistic thing.
Even the women's football league that were in like lingerie or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
definitely
It was like,
objectifying.
yeah, and that's
There's also something about women using their power of their looks to get what they want. Like they have something we don't.
Pussy.
They do. They have things. Point proven. Yes, they have what we don't have, like that physical beauty. They don't. And women use that to their advantage.
Well, yeah.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I mean, women obviously. Just want to clarify all views that CSQUARE are saying is strictly his. I think women have a well-rounded properties that they bring and beauty.
Properties.
And one of them is beauty.
Properties.
One of them is beauty.
Properties.
I'm just
The
saying.
fact that you said properties is a problem. Like they're an element or something.
Well, there's.
Yes, they have different. They definitely have a different.
Yeah, then the media, you're seeing them be made heroes quite a bit more, or not media, but just in movies, multimedia, I should say,
Yeah.
I guess, in a way, and are like one of the coolest characters out there is Arya Stark in my book. In the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Have you?
I haven't watched it, but I'll just go along with you.
But it's.
She's a female protagonist.
She has, I mean, and Game of Thrones was, went on for so long, long episodes and stuff like that. There were a lot of side storylines, and but it's just if you get a chance, man, it's.
You look at
pretty
even
good.
in the Avengers movie, they had that one part where all the women go, kind of make the big turn in the battle.
Catalyst.
Yeah,
So,
the catalyst for the winning the battle. Like it's like they're making a point.
Mm.
I mean, media is making a point, which I think is good. I mean,
Yeah.
Think about how men have dominated movies for all of time. I mean, we all love the badass guy who can shoot the gun and like James Bond. I mean, think about James Bond. Like, it's like, I don't know. He's always.
Could you accept a female Bond?
Oh, they've talked about it.
Could you accept it?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I wish you would go around and hit on hot guys like James Bond, or would it be hot girls still?
if you're really woke, we'd be girls. it would be women, or it'd be whatever. I don't know. I mean, whoever, whatever. Just
Coyotes.
no, not animals. Coyotes. And giraffes, whatever, you know. Yeah, I mean, female Bond would be interesting. I mean, they have kind of a female Bond type movies. I mean, they have Charlize Theron's been in
Salt.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
Charlize Theron's been in something called Heater. I don't know. What it's called.
I've not seen that Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Sharice's Thong. Yeah. Sharice's Thong. You guys know her? Bring her up on IMDb. Let's look at what she's been in.
Yeah.
Her quote. Always floss your teeth.
Always floss your teeth. What are you talking about? Oh, thong. Okay. God, I lost it. The thong is the most useless piece of clothing of all time.
Isn't it funny though how it just accentuates everything?
Yeah, it's like one little thread of like. Why do you even put it on? Like, what are you doing? Guys couldn't wear that.
Looks like the
like
the Euro beaches, the guys that wear the thing it goes around one leg up around their.
For Christmas, one year, my mom always would buy us, me and my brother, some underwear. And I don't know, maybe
Speaking
10.
of superheroes.
Yeah. I was about 10. And, it's Christmas Eve. And we were always able to open a few gifts for Christmas Eve. Well, I was real excited. She's like, pick any box over there. I go and I pick out a medium-sized box. I didn't want to go right to the biggest.
Yeah,
one.
you gotta save that for next morning.
Yeah. And I open it up. I'm excited. It's a package of underwear, but not just any underwear. It's men's G-string underwear.
Oh.
She accidentally got me, and I was like, "What?"
Your mom got you men's G-string.
I was like, I gotta go try these on. So my dad's never home really. But
Right.
he's home for the holidays.
Yeah.
So it was always kind of awkward for him to be around, just because when you're not used to someone around and they're around, even though if they're your dad or whoever. Just so it takes adjusting to. So he definitely wasn't prepared.
For you to wear, what is it? Like men's what?
G-string.
G-string. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, I put him on. Go upstairs, walk back down. And
How old were you?
I was like, I don't know. I was like 20.
What? That makes the story right there. I think you're like 12, and it was even weirder. But
No. Actually, I was like 12.
Okay.
Mom accidentally got some men's G-string.
So she accidentally.
Yeah, it was like she's wanting her son to walk around with G-strings. Come on, man. She's got some sense, man.
Reiterate that it was on accident.
I did. Excuse me.
Yeah, I missed.
So your mom saw the front, but not see the back of the underwear.
Oh, she saw it all.
That was what this. So you walked down.
And unfortunately, Dad's downstairs watching whatever. I'm in the kitchen, which is upstairs, kind of. We have 3 stories, okay. Anyway,
I remember your house. I remember that house.
Anyway, so we're in the kitchen, and I started clapping my ass. I didn't know it was called clapping.
How big was your ass when you were 12?
Man, I had a nice ass when I was 12, man.
You were clapping?
I was clapping.
You might be the original
You
might be the original clapper.
I know. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew if I did some move, it was clapping that shit up. And my dad was like, "What are you doing up there?" And I turned around with my ass in the G-string. And he Did not like that whatsoever.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
Welcome home. But yeah, that was my experience wearing a G-string, and I just want to say for the 10 minutes I had it on, gave me a rash. I hated it, and I don't see how
it wasn't
women could
freeing
do it.
at all.
No, man, it's like a perma wedgie. Like there was no getting comfortable.
So okay,
But it might be different for guys. I mean, my ball sack kept looking like a camel toe.
how big was the front of this thing? Like, was it like? I mean,
Not big enough, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Like, was it a triangle or was it more of a hammock of some sort?
You and your shapes today, man.
Yeah.
Was it square
I
or
don't think
was
I'm
it?
going to do the sauna initiation anymore.
I mean, it was a rhombozoid.
Wow.
It seems like that would hurt.
So a parallelogram of sorts.
Yeah.
It,
Well, no. Well, just two sides.
we're just saying geometry terms at this
Yeah.
point.
Pie.
It was pie. Okay, so in my life, the underwear had a progression. So when I was a kid, of course, your parents have you wear the whitey tighties. And then there was the underoos, which were the superhero bottoms. So you were wearing like Superman's underwear bottoms or whatever, or Batman, or, you know, whatever, Iron Man, or whatever.
Aquaman in your case.
Aquaman, of course, yes.
Wonder Woman.
I don't think they had one. For girls, they might have had Wonder Woman. I don't know. Anyway,
girls did have them too, right? It was,
girls had underoos too. Yeah. So then you move on, and you're wearing the whitey ties, wearing white ties, and then like I think it was like the late '80s, early '90s. Maybe I started thinking, man, boxer shorts started coming into the, you know, you're in the gym, the locker room at the gym at school, you know, and people start wearing boxer shorts, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna start wearing boxer shorts. I'm in middle school now, kind of let things flow free. So I tried to wear the boxer shorts, but it just wasn't the support I needed at the time. Like it seems like at soccer practice, things were flying everywhere. It just was, rashes could come into play. It just seemed like,
Plus, wearing them over pants, they would bunch up underneath your clothing.
Yeah.
I hated that.
I mean, I still wear boxer shorts now. I mean, I wear boxer shorts, but I thought, okay, I want to wear boxer shorts because that's cool. Because you kind of wanted them. There was a thing where you wanted to hang out the top of your pants. Remember that?
What hang out?
Your underwear. You kind of wanted your schlong to hang out the top of your pants. And that was, then they had the big, remember structure underwear? Remember that came in, the thing, the whole structure thing. You wanted to have structure kind of coming out the top or whatever.
Yeah.
So I started wearing whitey tighties with the boxers over them. The support I needed, but the style I wanted.
Wow.
So eventually I did that for a while, and then during,
You were wearing the double-breasted jacket.
You were
and
pre-boxer briefs.
I made boxer briefs with 2 pairs of underwear, basically, is what I did. And I did that for a while.
Until your balls got so hot.
And until summer came. And I was just like, God almighty.
Your balls sound like, oh, God, thank God. I can breathe.
It is the hottest part of the body, I would say.
Yeah.
It's the warmest.
This reminds me of a clothes modification story I know of.
A clothes modification?
Yeah. This guy, he graduated with my brother. It's my brother's lifelong best friend. And he was crazy, though. And just one of those guys, he's just crazy. But okay, graduation gown, you got that and stuff. Mm-hmm. So underneath it, he's wearing like this party muscle shirt and a pair of boxers like
party
that.
Muscle shirt.
Yeah, just like whatever. Said, I don't know, insert whatever cliche back then, Van Halen or Quiet Riot or whatever, you know. just a shirt with something on it.
Like
Could have been Bud Light. I
an
don't
A
know.
shirt,
Yeah, just a white. Just
like a wife beater type shirt.
Yeah, a beater.
We shouldn't call it that, but that's what we're calling it. It's called an A shirt to be politically correct.
And,
go ahead.
And he had these boxers. Well, he took a pair of slacks because he really didn't have any slacks. But he took a pair of black slacks and cut the legs off, like up above the knee,
Okay.
and tied those on. So like, so it looked like he had, full slacks underneath it. And he walked out at graduation. He's standing there posing for pictures, in his superhero pose because he's got it's like boxers, and then he's slack.
You mean he cut the pants off? He cut the legs off the pants to make it look like he had pants.
Yeah,
on?
he just tied like the calf part on.
He tied it on at the top,
You tied it
like with
onto
a
his
garter
legs.
belt type of situation.
I'm not sure how he pulled that off. No, I don't think
So
it's
he basically had his underwear on with pant legs.
No, I mean, it was like short. It wasn't boxer. It was like shorts, but I mean, it was like that cut.
Okay, why did he do this?
Because he didn't really have a pair of slacks to go to that fit him or anything like that.
Where did he get so the top half of the pants didn't fit
Correct.
because of
And he
too
wasn't
small
going
or
to go
too
out
big.
and buy
So he just
clothes
cut-
for that. He's like, this looks crazy. I'm going to do this.
So he just cut the bottom of two pairs of
Yeah.
pants.
So, and he's walking, getting his diploma and stuff like that. Nobody's wiser, and he comes out. He's like standing superhero pose, and it's, this crazy outfit. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
So people saw that he had just boxers on, and
Yeah. I mean, that was part of the shtick. That's how he was, man. Is how he is.
so he opened his gown up, and people saw that.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
just muscle shirt and shorts and and the flag.
I got to
cut
give
off.
it to him for the ingenuity of
like-
these pants don't fit. All I need is the legs of it. Just
It's like the photo negative of cut off jeans, if you will.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Metaphorically speaking,
What
that's
about
what he did.
So what was your progress to your underwear progress? Underwear evolution, your
Yeah, this,
undergarment evolution.
same as you. Pretty much tightywhities, and then some underoos. About when I was 10 years old, and then, but I never did do the boxer thing. I tried the boxer briefs some, but like I always worked in hot environments and stuff like that a lot back then, and just you'd get I call them like salt burns or blisters or something like
Yeah,
that
it
on
suck.
the U-bolt. You know what I'm talking about?
That's the
And
worst.
so I went back to like the briefs. And they're not white anymore.
See, you landed at colored briefs.
Yeah, some heather gray and teals and stuff.
Oh
like
yes, I like that.
that. Yeah.
Man, you're more of a man than me. I can't wear that. I can't do it. I can't wear briefs. I can't wear boxer briefs
Like no, they
unless I'm doing like I'm running or some kind of sporting thing where I need everything to be stay in place. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. You elaborate.
some of the new ones, that they got like a neoprene feel and they got that front compartment. Now I can pull those
The
off.
way I wish people could have seen the way you said the way you just put front compartment, the front compartment, the little sack for your sack, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those seem to work, but I don't think I could put 12 or 14 hours in a power plant. Yeah.
In boxer shorts.
Yeah, just because the seams where they come together would hold, sweat, stuff like that. It just that salt, I get irritated. It's like
What about you, Shaman? What's your underwear progression?
You think all these people are really interested in our history of?
I don't care. Like we've said worse stuff than this.
This segment brought to you by Baby
started-
Gold Bomb.
Baby gold.
I started free balling.
You did.
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So no underwear.
No.
Commando,
Yes.
if you will.
Yeah.
How long?
To about yesterday, and then I finally tried whitey tighties. No. Yeah. I
I'm
guess
glad-
the same progression.
I'm glad you tried something, seeing as how you're wearing sweatpants today.
Yeah.
Just let the record show.
On the record, though,
There's nothing freer than free ball and sweatpants. I'll
I
tell you
am
that right now.
free balling on the record. So just keep your eyes up.
So
boys.
underwear is
Keep
like
your
not your
eyes
thing.
Up. What?
So underwear, you're just like, that's
There was
Only
a-
when I'm teaching.
the
right?
man's only in a professional environment.
There was
You can't force me to wear underwear.
was that one of the shock rock DJs, and that was, I think it was Bubba the Love Sponge. You ever hear that name?
No, but
And each day had a theme. Like we used to listen to it on like,
the love sponge.
yeah, they used to syndicate off the Blitz and out of Columbus. And you listened to it at night, and it was like Free Ball on Fridays was one of them, and they'd have parody songs, made up, but like
Free balling.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
that's the one. And then
and I'm free balling.
and
Feel- it's nice, especially on a.
I'm not against it.
No, I mean,
he had other days that were more nefarious in nature, as far as their themes and stuff like that. But
yeah.
we can move on.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
so
guys are really uncomfortable talking about your underwear.
it is. I don't
Why?
know why you started it.
Who cares?
Let's go back to the shaman's stuff here.
Yeah. What was that?
Your mom bought you some thongs? I mean, that was less embarrassing than what we're talking about right now.
My ass.
No,
Okay.
he was navigating through it better than what I just did.
I mean, you had
My
a
little
good story about it.
Yeah.
I just wondered if anybody else had done the boxer short, tidy whitey thing. If you have, please send us a message on social media.
No pictures.
Please don't.
Please.
I mean, if you're wearing boxer shorts and you know what, don't send me pictures. I think that. So we have a, I thought that what I did was common, but I guess it wasn't.
Which was what?
My tidy whitey, the
Briefs
boxer
under the
shorts.
boxers.
And your underoos?
Yeah, I thought it was like, I eventually just got rid of the briefs and went to boxers
You
only.
evolved, man.
Evolved.
With the times. Yeah.
It's not
Word.
good for sports at all, but
No.
no.
Well, it's not good.
You're telling me,
I don't think I could dunk wearing boxers.
you're like, okay, I got to get into this. So, Shaman, you don't wear underwear at all?
No, of course I would.
Never.
I wouldn't say never.
You just wear it in a professional environment where you have to teach children.
Yeah, or if I'm doing squats.
I'll go squatting today, better put my underwear on.
No, but if
In
you
case you're really strained.
or running, you don't want that thing slapping around.
No, you don't.
So there are certain
You don't.
But for the most part, man, if I can
You
just let it
you
go,
just live free.
dude. That's
You're,
what it tells me to do. I can't help it.
It?
Yeah.
Hey, Sean!
yeah.
I don't want to be constricted.
Not today, man.
Shaman, please. Don't do
it's
that,
more
no.
like it's more like, hey, yo, Sean.
That's what you that's
yo. Not today.
Well, that's a good question. If your stuff had an inner dialogue voice, what voice
I
comes
don't
to
know
mind?
if I-
Which he's already covered his,
Yeah.
but like,
His is a like a Barry White type of
Yeah.
guy or something.
Yeah, baby.
He's like
maybe it'd
he's
be
like
like
Suge
Eeyore,
Knight or something.
like Eeyore off of Winnie the Pooh, maybe, or something like that.
You should be Eeyore off Winnie the Pooh.
Eeyore. Hey, doggy.
Hey, Sandman. Things aren't going too good.
No.
down here.
Yeah.
Why is he? Are you squeezing Eeyore's balls there? That's not how he sounded.
I don't know how to. What's Eeyore's voice?
He's kind of
Okay.
humdrum. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
But no, man.
Sandman.
No, my
hot down
my
here.
piece is not humdrum. That's what it ain't. You know what I'm saying?
It's really hot down here. Could you
So
take
anyway.
a shower?
Maybe like some demonistic modulator voice.
Yours is.
Hello.
Welcome to the
I know you're trying to concentrate, but I'm going to itch right now.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
Feel the burn.
So
No, not the gold bond. Ah!
So is Sandman? Is that yours? Is yours the?
Is it Eeyore, or is this
That was the most comedic thing. I thought that was the first good plug-in. I thought there.
Don't
Pun
say plug in
intended.
when you're talking.
Your inner dick voice.
So anything
You see
rattling
Square?
between your ears there, Square.
Mine would be like it's kind of bipolar type of situation. It'd be like a guy on an infomercial,
It's just
like the
music.
ShamWow guy.
It's just the Bohemian Rhapsody theme playing in the background.
It's basically Bohemian
Has its own
Rhapsody
theme
down there.
music. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
it's either really he's either really excited or or he's just taking a nap. You know what I mean?
What would he sound like?
Hey guys,
Okay.
only $19.99.
Ready to go to the gym? Let's get a sign.
Let's go here. Oh.
And then so when he's
Like
down,
Mickey
what
Mouse.
would he sound like?
Once he gets a good chode slap, and he's like, "Oh gosh."
And Mr. Bill at that point. You know, oh no.
So Chris's dick sounds like Mickey Mouse.
It's like Tony Robbins and what's that guy's the comedian's name? He's got like that real weird voice. He's like, "Oh hi." He's
Emo Phillips.
Emo Phillips, like Emo Phillips, and depends what day it is.
Oh,
If I
man.
up my game, maybe like I'd have an Eminem song playing. Or something.
Yours is Eminem.
So if I up my game, like
He's like, "You got one chance,
let me hit the gym, drop about 20 over,
Mom spaghetti."
and then we'll revisit the.
Man, that was the best Eminem I've
You
ever
got
heard.
one chance, Mom spaghetti.
Yeah, what? What does that mean, man?
It's just two things
You're
I
telling
knew.
your mom she's got one chance to make spaghetti?
There's a spaghetti thing there. Like,
Yeah.
it's a spaghetti analogy you could make.
Oh my god.
My
Eminem, if you're listening. Just joking.
Yeah. Feel free to
my
call him.
penis is like Eminem. He's angry. Boy, he can lay down some rhymes though. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my god.
He can put some bars down.
Needs pills to operate properly.
No. I think Eminem's been clean for a while though.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, if you're Eminem, you're gonna get into drugs. You're like, I think it's interesting that people call him the best rapper ever.
He's definitely.
I mean, he's great,
Yeah, he's one of the greatest, no question.
but his cadence is the same every time almost. Like,
No,
kind of does the same thing.
To me, like
no, I would
Man.
have to disagree.
Chuck D for my money, man. It was
You think
good.
Chuck D's the best rapper ever?
Not I'm not going to say the best, but like probably the most influential to me because I, like a lot of my, lifelong friends I developed at that point were black, and you'd be playing ball with them somewhere, and the cops would run you out because we were in a neighborhood that we weren't allowed to have a black kid. Well, that's
You weren't allowed to have a black person with you?
no, well, all right. We'll get into this.
Mhm.
But it's like, and we're all church-going kids. We're all the same. But middle of summer, you know how they had that low rim over at Belfont? They
Yes.
tore it down.
The Belfont School.
And it was lit up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you could play all night in the middle of summer, no curfew and stuff like that. Well, I mean, and that's all we're doing. We're playing ball. We're not getting into nothing.
You're
It's well lit,
You're not.
middle of the neighborhood. And this, County Mountie comes through that had to look like his childhood hero was Boss Hogg off the Dukes of Hazzard, and ran us out of there. And it was because we had this one. Yeah, well, I'll mention his first name, but Steve. We had Steve with us, and he was, he's the only black kid there, but that was enough for that guy to,
So-
to run us out of there. And they were having a party next door.
Huh.
Yeah, it was like,
Do you think it was because there was a black kid in Belfont?
Yep.
Which is an affluent area in the 80s.
Well,
in the 80s? I
in the
can
middle of
see that.
summer and there's no curfew? Why run us out of there?
Right. Huh. Yeah.
And I remember seeing, like, if you ever get pulled over, and or I've been in a car when one of my black friends was driving, gets
Mhm.
pulled over, and it is a different mindset. They are, I say they, but that's wrong. But my friends put it that way. scared to death.
Of they mean the cops.
Yeah, just like
okay.
It's like you key out the ignition on the dash and yes sir.
You mean they act?
Yeah.
Your friend acted different.
And you can tell their parents have had that talk with them. I mean, you've heard that,
especially what was it like 1980s or 1990s or what?
But that's why, like at that time, Chuck D and it was fight the power, and by the time I get to Arizona and stuff like that, man, I was all about it because I saw the politics, and it didn't affect me, firsthand, but I saw it, and so that was.
So Chuck D was your
just the voice of, political motivation, I guess.
I think Nas is probably my favorite rapper. I'd say. I like Nas a lot. I mean, I think Eminem's good. Who do you think the best rapper is? I'm not a huge rap aficionado, so
this is pretty controversial, but say Vanilla Ice.
Rob Van Winkle. Do you think he's the best rapper? He kind of did bring rap to, he brought rap out of. I mean, you had MC Hammer.
Wasn't it?
That's pop rap.
That was like the first album that didn't go to vinyl at all. Went straight to CD too, I think, if I remember that right. Does that sound right?
Hammer Don't Hurt Him?
No, the Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't go to vinyl. Man, I'd love to have that on vinyl. I got to get that. I bet it exists.
It can be done, but
I loved Vanilla Ice. I thought it was great. But I was also a white suburban kid, so it seems to me it was marketed to me.
I mean, even my buddies, I mean, we liked it. And then all of a sudden he hit number 1 in the charts, and it was like we all realized there was something wrong with that, that he didn't really lay the groundwork for that genre, that it should have been somebody else being that figure.
It's kind of like Elvis took African-American music.
On the Stones, too.
Yeah, the Stones did, too. You could even say Led Zeppelin probably did a little bit, too.
Yeah, I mean, anybody big enough success, I mean, you'll find crossover with another culture as an influencer, seems like, when it comes down to it.
Well, the point is you have oppressed people that probably would have had the same opportunity if they weren't the color of their skin. You know what I mean?
Right.
You would have had different. And that's the same thing with women. It's like that's what this racism, sexism thing's about, is that people should have opportunities, and they were oppressed and they weren't allowed to have the opportunities. That's the problem. And it shouldn't be a thing. It should just be whatever you are good at or whatever you offer on the table. It shouldn't matter what you look like.
So going back to that, I know it was a bit ago, but until, say, sports is what's the right word?
Coed.
Coed, yeah, thank you. You do have transgender men playing in, like, going into track sports and women's, divisions.
Right.
And they're physically bigger, possibly stronger. I feel like that's probably not fair for the other women who are, competing naturally with their own gender.
Yeah, there's a woman that just won some powerlifting.
Yeah, weightlifting. Yeah.
But it's a man who was a man,
but did qualify to go to Tokyo, right?
But is a woman. Woman. But yeah, I'm trying to say this right. It's a biological man originally who transitioned, I believe,
and
who's now,
and she won powerlifting.
She won, qualified to go to the Olympics, is it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think she's going to Tokyo.
And so the we could look at, okay, maybe it's not fair, because testosterone and such, and just physiology. That's we could say. But if we didn't have co-ed sports, would it matter? This is the people games. It's not the men's and women's separated. But it's in that sport, you might think, well, we want women to compete and compete against each other on a level playing field. We need to, excuse me, have a woman's division. So it's like, would it count out all women if we just had it co-ed? Everything was co-ed? It might. And women wouldn't have an opportunity anyway. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. And it is pretty weird when you have someone who biologically has the tools, but can identify something else and destroy everybody at it because they
it's just one of those things that, we'll have to see, what time tells of it. We're in a spot to go with it now, and then we'll see what we learn, and we'll try to improve upon it thereafter. Yeah. I mean,
it is just hard to, once you open up a door, to close it once it's open for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So once you start allowing one or two or, dozens, then all of a sudden, say there is this realization, like, you know what, it isn't fair. So we're going to stop allowing transgender athletes compete in women's sports or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of hard to reverse it if you open it up already.
Yeah, it'd be hard to. You don't want to eradicate women's ability to compete. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, on a level playing field.
I mean, there's some sports that have been like mixed doubles and tennis and stuff like that. There's variants of it where that where it have been co-ed.
Why? Yeah, but but until that happens.
Yeah, across the board. Yeah, I'm just saying that we have to see downstream before. I mean, this is so early in all this.
Yeah,
that we're all wise to tread somewhat lightly. Anybody that wants to compete, however,
whatever.
That's to them.
It should really be up to the.
But what history, when history's said and done and tells the tale on it, it'll be interesting to see how everything plays out.
Ultimately, in this particular situation, the women, if it's the NCAA women's sports or Olympics, whatever, it needs to be represented by women. Obviously, me saying my opinion.
It's just your opinion.
Yeah, right. But it should be really determined by the women of that league. Like, do women want men to start coming and crossing over and competing against them, even though they're identifying as female? Do women want that? And if they accept it and they don't mind, but from what I've read so far in most of these sports, these women who have competed hard and trained their bodies to be the best it can be to compete against other women feel like it isn't fair that they got to compete against a guy who may be 6'4", 240 some pounds, running a crazy speed and whatever. And then I don't know. I just feel like
you look at like boxing and you look at MMA and you look at those type of sports. They even have weight classes. So, like, okay, originally UFC, there was no weight limit. There was no rounds either. It was just fighting to whoever wins. But then they had to make it a little more. Let's just go boxing because it's easier to tell the history of MMA here. But boxing, it's always been there's been weight classes, because if you have a guy that's say 150 pounds against a guy who's 205 pounds, like, it's not going to be very good for, power alone, just the physical prowess of that person. So it's almost like we kind of have to divide it up by physical prowess to be able to keep it the competition worth watching. Otherwise you're just going to have a bunch of 205 guys fighting and no 150 pound guys are going to go in there. But if you watch like MMA and you watch like 135, those dudes are more entertaining to watch because they're so fast and they can go forever. Their endurance is better. If you weigh 250 pounds, 260 pounds, your endurance is only as a limit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and if you're 135 pounds, your gas tank is just, it's fast. They're the most fun fights to watch. They have women's 115 pounds, and it is, I think that's straw weight. Yeah, but it's kind of this. It's the point is like, keep it competitive. Don't like let everyone regardless of your size or sex or whatever, compete. I think that seems. I mean, we've already done it in boxing and in MMA, and it seems like it seems like that's what makes it, keeps it going, so we can have more more entertainment to watch, more sports, more people to compete in it, and things like that. So it kind of is comparable comparable when it comes to the transgender thing. I mean, like, shouldn't they be shouldn't it be a level playing field? Like, I don't know. I mean, weightlifting's kind of different. Weightlifting's a weird thing. It's a weird it's kind of a crazy sport. Like, if you lift this and put it down, like, it's a crazy sport that you train for that one movement. That's kind of a crazy thing. Like how much can you snatch? Which it's harder than hell to snatch, but you see people just do. I don't know. I think they should. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with it. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. I mean, I'd love to.
What do you think about the Supreme Court's decision about start paying NCAA players?
Well, I think they pay them anyway. I mean,
legally now.
Yeah. Well, they kind of pay them with a degree, but I think the NCAA does kind of rip people off. I mean, schools make a lot of money on sports. A lot of money. Mm-hmm. And those kids don't see anything.
Well, they were able to put, going back to, when was it, Jeff Shepard? Well, I think it was the 98 Cats when they won it all.
Uh-huh.
And then there was a NCAA blah, blah, basketball game that come out every year. And that was the last year, I think but Jeff Shepard was on that cover, if I remember right, for that game.
Yeah.
And that back then they saw it coming, that they couldn't use these kids' likenesses for their monetary gain. They
had to pay the kids because of their likeness.
Well, no, the year after that they quit using the likeness. It was some neutral team jersey and all that stuff.
I don't think they make college sports games anymore. I don't think they do. I might need to check on that.
Probably, I haven't played. I've been more of a first
because
person
think
shooter
about
lately. So.
It's a hard game to make. You got to make new players every year. Like, I have the NBA 2020 or 21, and they look exactly like them. The tattoos it looks exactly like them. I mean, and can you imagine how to do that every year? Like, it seems like that'd be too much money to do. I don't think they make college games anymore. I guess if they made them without people's faces, it would be kind of easy. Yeah,
neutral names.
And people like to, play football games and basketball games. Football would be easy. You could just put a helmet on them. You don't have to worry about what they look like. I don't know if they make them anymore, but anyway.
Third year player from blah, 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 left guard.
Yeah, like, you can't really even say their name. Like, huh. I think they should be able to should have to pay them. Because think about how many of those kids don't make it to the NBA. Think about, they could get something out of it. They could change their life out of it. Man, can you imagine the competition? Then you're going to have the richest school having the best players.
That scares me, being like a Cats fan. Their recruiting tool was, I don't know if you've ever seen like the documentary on their dorms and stuff like that. But the building that the players stay in, sorry, I got the hiccups going, but it can't be just
I'm so glad you have the hiccups. It's great.
But it couldn't be just a player's perk. So it's like halfway, half of the building is regular students, scholarship students.
Uh-huh.
But it's like they got flat screen TVs in the rooms.
So they're decked out inside.
I tell you, I was driving past Calipari's house one Sunday, and Sundays he's known to have lunch with like his starters.
You were just
And I was
driving
driving
by
past his house.
Calipari's house.
I didn't know he signed you. That's
And I was driving
congratulations,
past,
Shaman.
Shaman is a good basketball. Shaman is a good
I
basketball
was
player.
driving. Me and a couple of friends were just so happened to be driving past, and we saw at this time 3 white Escalades pull in. And we waited. We were at a stoplight, and they were pulling in. They got out, and they were from where we were at. I couldn't identify them personally. You can tell they were basketball players, I mean,
Right.
obviously. And it goes. And I was asking one of the guys I was with. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, they these dealerships around here give these guys cars all the time to let them drive around, and it kind of gives them advertisement, and it gives the player something to drive around. So it's not like these players go without. They do get perks already. They get $40,000 scholarship. I mean, you go to UK, it's almost $20,000 a year, right? Or $12,000, $14,000 a year.
It's more than that.
It's
More than
probably that a quarter now.
Okay, and
Probably-
that's just.
Probably, yeah, I'd say it's probably.
And these are
20,000 a
guys,
quarter.
at least in that school, who are going to be one and done. If you go to Kentucky, more than
Yeah.
likely, playing basketball, they're going to give you a scholarship that's for 4 years, but you're only going to use 1 year of that. They can't.
Right.
So that's a wasted scholarship that this guy, if he's already that good and he's only going to the college, he's only going to play college for 1 year because that's what's required of him.
Yeah.
Then they need to change the rule and be like, let him go to the G League. Let him go ahead and get paid to be a professional player. He may not be good enough yet to be in the NBA, but that's what that development league is about. As opposed to letting this player get a chance, take a scholarship from some kid who could be there for 4 years and really develop and really get something out of the college education, like a degree.
Why don't they just give him
Yeah.
a 1-year scholarship and then do it per year?
Or make it 2 years where they could
It's
walk out of
normally
there
not.
with some
I think
sort of degree.
if you get a scholarship to play ball somewhere, I think it's going to be for all 4 years. I just don't think. Well, here's 1 year scholarship, but we'll
No,
see
they
how
do
you
that.
do next year.
They do that. But it seems like they'd be smart. Hey, we'll give it. If you stay, you get them. You get every year. Seems like that would. I think sponsorships is what they should do. Let Under Armour and Nike and Reebok and Adidas or whoever, Monster, whoever, Gatorade pay for it.
Yeah.
Let them be sponsored.
That's. I wonder
Can they
how
be
it's gonna
sponsored?
affect, like this century coming up. Like last century it was all blue bloods. It was Duke, Kansas,
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina, Kentucky, and it's like with all this changing, are you going to see? It's going to be back to big market TV deal schools, like UCLA or
Mm-hmm.
what have you. Are you going to is that going to usher in a change? And that kind of concerns me being a Cavs
What
fan.
kind of change? Oh, you mean saying that Kentucky won't
That
have
they're-
the money? to
Yeah,
pay
there's
for
going to be a
players?
power shift, because
I
of the
would,
state.
I would think they would get a lot more than any other team. Kentucky is known to be a powerhouse basketball team.
Well, they travel too. I mean, people tune in.
Yeah, I think wherever they go, they're going to. I think Kentucky will be one of those schools that will be all right for sure.
It's so crazy. Like basketball is what started in Indiana, right?
Kansas.
Is it Kansas? I thought it was Indiana.
Now, I was thinking because that's where Dr. Naismith was from. That's
Okay,
why the
okay.
Fall Gallon
So you're
Fieldhouse
looking
and all that.
Midwest. Is where it started. It's interesting that Kentucky's a big school. It's interesting for some
How
reason.
it got that way?
Yeah, just
Basketball.
interesting to me how it.
Well, I think Rupp was an assistant to Naismith, and so it was just like he was one of the first
someone
guys.
knows.
That,
So you're saying Adolph Rupp?
yeah, it was just like those guys that coached or learned the game from Naismith, and it was like then they went to the proximal schools back then. That's why Indiana was good. Kentucky.
I don't have to wonder. I know now. See, yeah, it seems like the proximity is what happened. Yeah, interesting. So that's why UK's big is because of that.
Yeah, because like Rupp, like when he was like a high school coach, was coaching like wrestling or something like that, and ends up being a, Hall of Fame, 700 wins coach.
Yeah. Interesting. It is kind of.
If you think about it, those players that are going to start getting paid. Not to say they don't deserve it. Not to say they don't bring in a lot of monetary value to the school. But you have thousands of other students who are earning other degrees that also make that school what it is. A lot of students who are even working maybe a job or even 2 jobs. These athletes already get put on a pedestal for the most part, especially if you're on a D1 school.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the type of exposure, you can't buy that type of exposure. These players are already getting an opportunity to prove themselves, to go to that next level, as opposed to a player who's at a junior college who won't get the primetime TV deals that he's playing at.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get there are some divisions in college that, some players, they might need a little extra legal help, not under the table type of
legal,
like here's some
financial.
extra money, to help you out with food or whatever, you pay bills or whatever it might be.
I was listening to Tom Leach, and he was talking about the question he raised was, how is that going to work out for, you see it on some teams, like they were trying to be they're a walk-on or equipment manager, and they give them a scholarship for their senior year. It's all like that, but they're, they've paid on their own dime. These other kids are going to be millionaires as soon as they walk in for just 1 year. I mean, how's that going to? Yeah. How's that going to? I don't want to say trickle down, but the playing field as far as those kids that went to that school because they wanted to go to that school because they grew up watching those games with their dad or what have you, and they're just to be part of that program, and then somebody's going to come in and just making all this jack, and how is that fair to those kids?
Right.
It's like,
I don't think fairness has anything to do with it.
not anymore.
I mean, money is what drives this whole thing. I mean, people love UK basketball. People love Duke basketball. People love North Carolina basketball. People love UCLA or Rutgers. Or I don't even know. Who, whatever, UConn. I don't know. Whoever they love. People love a tribe. They follow that. It's money, 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 money. I mean, that's what drives this stuff. So there's nothing. It's not a fair thing. I mean, it's a very unique talent to have, to be able to play basketball like that.
I don't know.
I mean, it is pretty unique.
I'm not saying, listen, so is being an engineer, so is being a doctor, so is all these other things. Being 6'8"
is pretty unique.
Well, but I'm just saying he didn't earn that. Genetically, he was, or
you can
she
be
was,
6'8" and suck at basketball.
Tell me 6'8" person that you know would suck at basketball.
I've met some tall people who sucked at basketball.
Fine.
I mean,
Do you know what the point?
Is
the
if you're
fact that
6'8" and you suck at basketball, please.
These people are genetically, yes. They have.
You just got to watch about getting in foul trouble when you guard them.
You put somebody like us who's 5 foot shit, and we could put, we can dunk a basketball like Spud Webb or something like that. Now that's something. But you're 6'10", you can stand on your just not even jumping and almost touch the rim. These guys get paid millions of dollars to do their job.
Right.
I go to work every day. It's not like I got, I'm complaining about contract or, I don't know. It's just the fact that these players get paid millions and millions of dollars. Obviously not college players, right? Jumping ahead a bit.
I know.
But I'm just saying that we make a big deal out of athletes doing things that's what they pay them to do. If you got a multi-million-dollar contract to hit a baseball, you better gosh darn hit that baseball.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes. But so is, I get that much pressure. I better go into my work and perform, make sure these kids get results, or I'll lose my job. Right?
Yes.
So, or police officers who go in and risk their literal lives every shift, making what I make. And, but yet these players still have room to complain. If you are an NCAA basketball or baseball or whatever type of player, you are very blessed because a lot of kids either didn't have the skills or the genetics or whatever it might be that got you there.
Okay.
The exposure that those players are going to get, especially in the D1 level, is more than what most people get in their lifetime to get an opportunity to prove themselves. As I discussed, at least depending on the program, they do get already certain handouts that make their college career awesome. I mean, you went to UK, you know what some kids are going through in their college experience. College is a great time, don't get me wrong.
It's hard, though.
But if you're a college athlete, you're having an experience unlike no other. Get to go to these other colleges around the country, to play in these other stadiums around thousands of people, in front of thousands of fans. That's exposure that no one can just get. Yeah, I don't know. I just think
it's luck of the draw. I mean, it's luck of the draw. Like, I don't have the genetics to play basketball. I don't have the skill to play basketball. I don't have the height.
Right.
I just don't have that. I just don't.
Exactly.
And it's no one's fault.
Right.
But
because of that, some people are going to get to experience a certain type of life.
Right.
For things that they really ultimately didn't earn themselves. Now, granted, they got to do some of those skills, like those things that they got, the size that they got or the brain that they got.
I mean, you got to practice a lot to play good, be good at basketball.
I mean, there's plenty of pro athletes, children who never end up becoming pro themselves, like Michael Jordan's kids.
Yeah.
They never end up becoming pro.
Right.
Just because you even been around the game.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Jordan practiced.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
Definitely.
It was everything to him.
But there's kids out there too that, say at the age of X and they both have the same athletic ability. There's financial consideration there. Like, so if this kid can afford to go to all these camps, and
travel ball,
yeah, and all that stuff, and this kid is helping out on his farm, he can't get into 2-day practices or something like that because he goes to a county school or something like that. Now, and go back to luck of the draw, like you said, that's just.
Some people get the 10,000 hours in. If we want to put it like that, some people don't. You don't have the opportunity to.
That's a good point, Sandman. I had an opportunity to train softball players from 8 years old to collegiate level, and most of those players got to college because they were able to play travel ball. And you look at what travel ball costs just to join a team, it's between $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 to $5,000 just to join. That's not even talking about equipment. That's not talking about necessarily all the travel expenses, even though it does include some of it. So you will have a lot of instances where you have these kids whose parents are able to give them that experience and put them through that.
You got some that have the ability but will not have the monetary means to get to point B.
Yes. I've met some pro basketball players that were in NBA. And one did go to the NBA, and one of the reasons they didn't get to the level they wanted was their attitude.
Sure.
Their attitude was awful. They couldn't be coached. They were great. They're amazing. But, and they're, I bet a lot of people fall by the wayside where they start feeling entitled. I'm this person. I'm great at this. I should be treated like they try. Their mind goes higher than where they really are, and then they kind of fizzle out because you got to have a good attitude too. You can't just, you got to work hard.
I was in back when OJ Mayo and Patrick Patterson were playing for the Huntington team,
right?
And we'd go catch it and. Caught a couple games, and I remember one game was a Thursday night. We got out of there. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30, and we go that there used to be a B-dubs close to the courthouse.
I remember that. Yeah,
and so we're in there eating, and here comes OJ and that other little guard. He was pretty tough. He was a good ball player too, but they're coming in and they're like. They really don't start ordering their food till like 11 o'clock. They're supposed to be a school night. and they're hanging out all night. Patrick Patterson was nowhere to be found. Of course, he got his degree in 3 years or something while he was at UK. You know,
Yeah.
difference in entitled versus work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one instance I saw. It was like I don't know, to me, OJ seemed like he was in about himself a little bit to me. And if that's unfair, somebody tell me, but you know.
And how are you not into yourself when people treat you like that? You know what I mean? Like, when people start treating you like that, you start thinking you're that person. You know, it is a steel trap of a mind and of a volition to be able to get to that level, because the trappings to get there are, I mean, they're just,
there's probably a bit of that. You have to convince yourself that you are worthy to
it's a balance of confidence and
to have that, you know, aggressive killer instinct on the floor that's going to get you there. I guess, you know, is one way. It's probably not the best way of putting it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to have that mindset that this is mine, I'm going to take it, you know, when you're on the court or on the field or whatever. So I think some of that is okay. Like, you know, I've worked for this, I'm going to go get it, or God has preordained me to beat your ass,
yeah.
You know, or something like that.
You got to definitely have confidence, but you also have to watch, like, I mean, you get into drugs, you get it with the wrong distractions, you know, whether it be girls or men or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's rare. I mean, we put all this attention on these athletes, but they're pretty rare to be, you know, to become a professional athlete. Like, it's very rare.
It's very low.
Huh?
Very low.
Yeah, very low.
Percentage to become a professional athlete. Even the guy that sits on the bench, how good he is, you know, that's not even starting. If you put him at any court, you know, go take him to the Y, you know, he would just destroy. But he sits the bench, you know. So there are obviously different degrees of being the alpha dog. You know, you made to the NBA, that's a whole other level to be a professional athlete. But do you even start? And then if you're starting, then that just takes you up to a whole other notch.
You gotta love it. Like the beauty of something like that is because they love what they do.
Tom Brady, he's gotta love what he does.
Love everything about football. Love everything about basketball.
Yeah.
Like, and I find it's easier for me to do things I love. Like playing guitar. I love playing guitar.
Yeah.
Like I would rather be doing that than most other things in the world, you know?
Yeah.
And because I liked it so much, I have gotten, I'm not the best in the world, but I got better at it just because I just naturally went to it. I would grab one guitar anytime I could. Just, and that's kind of how, like, what you got to find in life. I hate to get philosophical, but you find something you love to do. And
that's the way I was about archery. I don't know if you remember seeing on the ESPN and way back where they'd be shooting the fake targets and stuff like you know, like the fake deer and stuff like that, unmarked yardages. And I used to do that. I mean, it was nothing for every summer, you know, 300 arrows a day, you know, just warming up.
Why don't you do that anymore?
20-yard. One reason is my blood pressure. I'd hate to see where the arrow would go at this time.
Really?
I mean, that was part of which, but
you got nervous or something?
Yeah, it's part of your being able to keep steady, you know, if you're
what do you breathe out when you shoot it? Do you hold your breath? What do you do?
You're supposed to, because that slows your heart rate down.
Do you do it before?
Or you take a deep breath. You
take the breath when you're drawing back?
Well, you try to time it, you know, part of it too, but.
Or do you blow it totally out and then do it?
No, I was to take a deep breath in because that.
And then do you release it when you release the arrow?
Slow your heart rate down. Yeah, I just hold it until I shot.
Like, give me an example. Like, pretend you're shooting an arrow right now.
Well, because
just play around, play with me.
Put my thumb on the doorknob here, and it'd be
yeah.
And you draw back, and then you just wait until you get a good picture out there.
You're holding your breath during it.
Yeah. And
when do you exhale after you shoot?
After the shot, yeah.
Or like at release?
No, just after the shot.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I did it. That's probably why I didn't go pro. I was getting good enough at one point. I was thinking about sending my resume into a manufacturer to see if I could not a staff shooter, but be a sponsored shooter.
Like Hoyt or something like that?
It's a company it was Clearwater Archery. I can't remember who ended up buying them, but I got to where I shot, a few national shoots, but
you mentioned that. I forgot about that.
I did okay on the local scene. I wasn't, but there are a lot of staff shooters from this area. Martin Archery there's a guy from out Grayson named Randy Boggs. Him, his wife, and his daughter, they were all pros.
Mm-hmm.
They got paid to shoot that bow. And the club I belonged to, when I was shooting regular, Matthews had a couple staff shooters, and there was like 10 guys that were sponsored in that club, and it's all those guys did, and so it was easy to get.
How long has it been since you've done that?
Shot a competitive shoot.
Shot a bow and arrow.
I've shot like
a bow and arrow. It seems like I don't know what I'm talking about. Shot a bow and arrow. I guess you shot a bow. Is that what you said?
Last time I warmed up a target for real was
He's using the real terms here. Last time you warmed up a target.
I went down to North Carolina when the younger boy graduated high school, and just as they were having getting the party ready together and all that stuff, he had a 20-yard stake out, and I had to shoot his bow. I didn't have a rig anymore, but first shot I popped fletchings, so I still had a little bit of it. But as far as to go out there and say that's
so if that's your
33
thing,
yards,
if that's your thing you love, why don't you do it?
Nobody around here really does it anymore to the extent that we do.
Just get a target in your yard and shoot it.
Yeah, I know, but
you have a great yard to do it. Just don't shoot one of the chickens.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
I know, but it was that was something. There was always somebody around that wanted to shoot that night. There was like so this podcast. There's a rotation of guys that was any given night. They'd come by and talk, and it was like that. That was, it'd be.
So it was a communal thing.
I mean, to a degree. But it was bigger up there because they didn't have Sunday hunting and they didn't have high power, and so there was a lot more archery, and the crossbows hadn't really branched over to where anybody could get a crossbow up there at that time. So it was a different ball game back then.
Crossbows ruined everything, or
I wouldn't say ruined everything, but
Rambo did.
Yeah,
Rambo killed everything.
I mean, it took a lot of the
Rambo. He messed up just.
I don't know. There's something about, and I don't hunt anymore. I kind of became a softy on that, but
you don't want to kill animals.
Well, you're watching a deer and you wait for their head to go behind a tree, and then you pull back because that's not what everyone's doing. And you're waiting for them to step out so you get a broadside shot.
Right.
And you're sitting there and you're holding your breath the whole time because you can swear it can hear your heart beating. I mean,
yeah.
It's a very
it's an intense situation.
Yeah, and but to do that with a compound where you're sitting there and you're holding X amount of pounds back the whole time, versus a crossbow where it's point and click, like a gun.
Yeah,
I mean, there's archery involved in crossbow. I mean, you got to know your distances and stuff like that. But you can walk into the woods with your weapon ready to shoot.
Yeah.
And and so some of the sacredness of that has come off. That's why.
I know a lot of archers think crossbows are like wussy or something.
Cheating.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's,
I mean, some of them, not all.
Disabled crowd and stuff like that or whatever,
Yeah. My father-in-law, my brother-in-law, he uses a crossbow. If it's always ready to go because they have deer in their yard. He kills a lot of things.
But to get, like, say if you kill a buck, a certain trophy, so like there's two classes. It's Pope and Young and Boone and Crockett, which a lot of people don't realize you can get. I'm sorry, I'm outside of your all's realm here, but I'll try to motor through it real quick.
It's learning, it's education.
But like, I think Pope and Young.
That sounds like a band in the 70s.
Yeah, but it's based on like the antler size minus deductions and all that stuff. So like so many inches, stuff like that. If it measures over 135, I think it is. Then that qualifies. You can have a Pope and Young, I mean, that you get into the association or whatever it was.
Oh, okay.
Boone and Crockett was.
That sounds like another 70s band.
Boone and Crockett, I think, is like another 40 inches.
Miami Vice?
Yeah, that was the cast of Miami Vice.
But you can get a Boone and Crockett with a bow, but most people think that's just a gun thing, but it really didn't. I mean,
is it like an award you get, or is it like what is it?
Just like you remember Awards Day, and they would say, and this person's in the who's who of American high school students. You know, it's kind of like I would liken it to that somewhat. You know,
have you ever Boone and Crocketted?
No, I never.
Have you Pope and Young?
No. I had a friend that was in it. I quit shooting for a while. He got killed in a car wreck, and he was like the best shooter I was around up at that point. And but he had busted like 7 PNYs. He was in a
PNYs. We're getting deep.
Yeah, I mean he got published in Big Buck magazine out of Canada. Him and the guy that taught him how to hunt.
I never heard all this stuff before. Gosh.
I mean,
you guys want to start a band called Pope and Young?
Pope and Crockett.
Pope and Crockett. So you have a passion, evidently. Maybe you need to go shoot a bow. I don't know.
What? You gonna start shooting with me?
It might be good for my shoulder.
This is one of these things I'm a little codependent on. But
you're codependent on shooting.
I think that I'm wondering if that's where some of my shoulder problems came from nowadays. Because I mean, you pull them back, and I
would suck at it.
I would try to. You try.
I'd be like everywhere.
There was a lot of mechanical tuning involved with your bows and stuff. So like you were trying to get the tightest pin gap, so at arrow speed. So it was like but you could only have so much poundage per weight of arrows and stuff like that.
Gosh.
And so, I mean, you would try to go right up to that. And if you were shooting a heavy arrow because you wanted a fatter arrow because it cut more lines, or you shot heavy fletchings because you liked the way they paper tuned or whatever. Okay, I'm kidding.
We found Sandman's passion. It's been identified.
Yeah. But I mean, so it was like, to shoot what they would call IBO legal or IBO range, it was like, I won't get into all the parameters, but it was, we got to move on.
Shaman's over there smiling.
But it was, sometimes I had a indoor bow that I was shooting for, and it was
you had an indoor and an outdoor bow.
Oh yeah. Because indoor bow, you would shoot like the 5 spots,
the targets,
fixed 20 yards,
right?
And that was all about.
So it was less poundage.
Bullseyes. Yeah, you could, but sometimes I would set my bow up to where if my outdoor bow went out of time or something like that, then I could.
Then you could grab the indoor bow.
Yeah. And
does the indoor bow have is it more comfortable? Is it like a pair of pajamas? Does it have like felt on it?
They were usually flashier looking.
They were flashier looking?
Yeah, it was like instead of camoed up, it would be like the one I had.
Neon
black
green or something.
And chrome wheels and a red candy apple red riser and stuff.
You didn't care if you were seen with it. You wanted to be seen with the indoor bow, more or less. Huh. Maybe you need to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, but I mean, it was, there was the World Championships used to be in West Virginia, but they had 3 jewels to the Triple Crown, then they had the World Championships, and it was.
We're deep in archery right now.
Bedford, Indiana, Erie, Pennsylvania.
So it was the Triple Crown of bow shooting.
Yeah, and the third, in Nelsonville, Ohio.
Huh?
Because they shot right there on a college campus, like on their property.
Archery is in schools now. They're really doing it right now, I think.
That the guy he coached the Olympics. He caught what was it? I want to say his name was Josh White or Justin Hewish, one of those two that were on the Olympic team. But I shot the breeze with the guy that coached them. He used to have a segment on. They call him, Dr. Strickland or something like that. I mean, but on some of these local or not local hunting shows, but the national hunting shows, I mean, he'd have segments on there on tuning and stuff like that. But
it's a very in depth thing. The bow hunting. I know Joe Rogan's really into it. He's got he got trained by like Cam Haynes and
Yeah.
Ted Nugent.
Like one of his heroes, like he's talked about where he'll creep up on something out of his shoes is Randy Ulmer, which in shooting. I've seen guys I've seen in person and stuff like that. So back then, that was like, oh my god, I saw this guy.
Yeah, well, it's
anyway.
It's definitely it's a hard thing to do. I don't think people understand. My favorite archer is definitely Robin Hood. So
yeah.
So as an archer, how do you feel about the Sheriff of Nottingham? Stupid.
Moving on. I have taken up too much oxygen.
I'm trying to think of a better
about
question.
bow shooting.
When you got your gear flange turned up too high, I don't know. Listen, we found you are hunting, fixing stuff. You're the gearhead of the group for sure. You're the manliest man for sure of the group.
God.
You can kill stuff. You can put stuff together.
I'm gonna start wearing different kind of underwear.
You know what it is? It's the underwear.
Yeah.
Everything's all tight and packed together.
That was.
We should do a survey of
the guy that
manliness to underwear ratio.
Yeah.
I'm wearing boxer shorts over here, strumming my guitar, singing songs about lost love. You're out there with your whitey tighties.
Yeah, I'm going to leopard print next
shooting
week, boys.
stuff and taking stuff, putting it back together just for fun, helping old ladies with their drains. I'm over here singing them a song, wishing they feel better.
What do you have to say about all this, Shaman? I've sucked the air out of the room for the last
We've shot
minutes.
guns together before. Shaman and I have.
What'd y'all shoot?
A shotgun.
And her PP gun.
And a PP gun. And a rifle, I think. It was I don't know what they were. They were like military guns.
Don't remember the caliber or anything.
No. I'm over here with boxer shorts on. I don't know what to do. Like I just...
I'm free balling. So
I need to go outside and pick a flower or something.
Yeah. I think we need to play a game of 21 before we come in next time.
So, Shaman, what would you say your passion is? I mean, we know Sandman's passion for sure.
It used to be.
We're gonna get him shooting
Shot
again
him forever.
My passion. Is this something like I would just love to do?
Besides sauna etiquette.
Yeah.
We know you're big into that.
He's passionate about the sauna for sure.
Yeah. I would say either I love being artistic or playing music. So, and those things obviously can be done throughout my whole life. I don't have to be a titled artist to do those things, which is nice.
It's kind of what I was getting at through this whole conversation.
I can still do those things and express it. So yeah, I guess it would be that.
Yeah, I think for me, there was a time when I had to say, I'm going to play music because I like to do it, not because I'm going to get famous and I'm going to tour the world and blah, 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 blah. Like, I just like to do it. I don't care if anybody's listening to it.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's cool for people to listen to it and like it. But really it's just about that, getting lost in that moment of the alpha state of it and just being, think about music is like you make a sound and then it dissipates and goes away. It's not like a painting. Like a painting, you paint it and it's there permanent. Mm-hmm. Music, yeah, you can record it, but really it's just it's just there and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing to do I mean, it sounds kind of, it's like painting with invisible paint almost. Or like, it's like it just dissipates after you play it. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too artsy fartsy about it, but it is an interesting.
That makes as much sense.
It makes about as much
That's
sense.
3 squirrels grabbing 2 ice cream cones.
Wearing boxer shorts.
Wearing boxers. Oh, God. Oh, jeez. Well, it has been a wonderful and diverse conversation with you gentlemen. I appreciate you coming out this evening.
I would say my favorite part of this podcast was your in-depth knowledge of women.
Listen, I think I need to end this. You know what? We're not ending the podcast. I want to say that I respect women. I was just trying to point out that women
How you work,
that women
and you clean the house,
have a different set of priorities and natural gifts.
making babies, cooking food, cleaning the house.
And I wouldn't be here without a woman. So I took a woman to get me here, and one will probably take me out. And with that said, it's love or no love. It's your choice. Thank you for listening to the Invisible Wires podcast. You can email us at invisiblewirespodcast@gmail.com. You can interface with us on Instagram at invisible_wires.